Rise above the storm and you will find the sunshine. At first, this sentence sounds like something we might see printed on a greeting card or posted on social media alongside a beautiful picture of a sunrise. But beneath its simplicity lies a profound philosophy of life. The storm represents chaos, struggle, and pain. The sunshine symbolizes clarity, peace, and renewal. To rise above the storm is not merely about escaping hardship. It is about transcending it, transforming through it, and finding something greater on the other side. To begin unpacking this, we need to understand the symbolism of the storm. Life is full of storms. These storms appear in different forms: loss, betrayal, failure, uncertainty, and even the invisible battles we fight within ourselves. They are not gentle winds that pass by unnoticed. They shake us to our core, disrupt our plans, and sometimes even threaten to destroy the foundation of who we are. But storms are not meaningless. They serve a purpose in the architecture of human growth. Without storms, we would remain shallow, untested, and fragile. When a storm arrives, our natural instinct is to resist it, to complain, to wish it away. But resistance rarely changes reality. The truth is, storms will come regardless of our wishes. What matters is how we choose to respond. Some people allow storms to break them. They collapse under the weight, lose hope, and never recover. Others, however, rise above. They do not deny the storm. They do not pretend it isn't happening. Instead, they face it with courage, endure its fury, and use its energy to elevate themselves. Think of the eagle. Among birds, the eagle is unique in its relationship to storms. When heavy winds come, smaller birds hide in fear. But the eagle, it spreads its wings, embraces the storm, and lets the powerful currents lift it higher. The very force that terrifies others becomes the energy that propels the eagle to new heights. This is the essence of rising above. It is not about running away from the storm, but about learning how to let the storm lift you beyond its reach. In human terms, rising above means transforming adversity into growth. It means using pain to build resilience, using failure to cultivate wisdom, and using loss to discover gratitude. Life's most profound lessons often come wrapped in suffering. But for those willing to rise above, the storm becomes a teacher rather than a destroyer. Take, for example, the story of those who have endured personal tragedy. Some people lose everything: a career, a relationship, even their health. At first, it feels like the end. Yet years later, they often look back and realize that the storm forced them to rebuild their lives in a better way. The pain was real, but so was the transformation. The storm stripped away what was false, what was weak, and revealed a deeper strength within. This idea of rising above the storm also connects to the concept of perspective. From within the storm, all we see is darkness and chaos. But when we rise above, we gain clarity. The storm is still there, but we are no longer trapped inside it. We see the bigger picture, and we realize that storms are temporary. Above the clouds, the sun is always shining. It never disappears. It only gets hidden. Our challenge is to remember that truth when we are standing in the rain. And this brings us to an important realization. The sunshine is not simply waiting outside of us. It is also within us. When we rise above the storm, we do not just find external peace, we awaken an inner light. That light is strength, wisdom, and resilience. The sunshine we discover is the recognition that no matter how violent the storm may be, it cannot extinguish the human spirit. As we close this first part, let us hold on to the core truth. Storms are inevitable, but they are not final. They may shake us, but they cannot define us. What defines us is whether we choose to rise above. And when we do, we discover the sunshine not just in the skies beyond the storm, but also within ourselves. Storms in life are not just moments of chaos. They are teachers cloaked in thunder and rain. They strip away the illusions of control we cling to, forcing us to confront our vulnerabilities. And yet, within those storms, there lies an opportunity, a chance to rise above, to elevate not just our circumstances, but also our spirit. This is where the saying gains its depth. Rise above the storm, and you will find the sunshine. The sunshine isn't just waiting after the storm. It's waiting above it, where perspective shifts and clarity resides. When we are caught in storms, our first instinct is to endure, to hold on, to grit our teeth and wait for it to pass. But rising above requires something greater, vision. It requires the ability to look beyond the immediate pain and imagine the possibility of light. Think about an eagle. When a storm approaches, most birds seek shelter, hiding in fear. But the eagle? It does the unthinkable. It flies higher, using the storm's own winds to lift itself above the clouds. While the rest of creation cowers below, the eagle rises above where the sky is calm and the sun still shines. This is the metaphor we must embrace in life. Many of us get stuck beneath the storm clouds of our struggles. We get drenched in the rain of failure, battered by the winds of disappointment, and blinded by the darkness of uncertainty. We say to ourselves, "Why me? Why now?" We assume the storm is punishment rather than preparation. But the truth is, storms are not meant to destroy us. They are meant to develop us. The storm is not the end of the journey. It is the training ground where we learn resilience, adaptability, and strength. To rise above, we must first recognize the difference between being trapped in the storm and rising beyond it. This distinction is about mindset. Some people live their entire lives blaming the rain for drowning their dreams, never realizing that the very winds that push them down could also be harnessed to lift them higher. Rising above is not about denying the storm, it's about redefining its meaning. Instead of saying, "This storm will break me," we must say, "This storm will teach me how to soar." There is a story of a farmer who faced one of the worst seasons of drought and flood. His crops were ruined, his land was scarred, and his livelihood threatened. Neighbors complained, cursed the heavens, and gave up hope. But this farmer, instead of surrendering to despair, studied the storms. He learned how to redirect the floodwaters, how to enrich the soil, how to plant in ways that anticipated the next challenge. Years later, his farm not only survived, it thrived. His neighbors were astonished, but he explained simply, "The storm taught me what the sunshine never could. That is the essence of rising above you. Don't just wait for the sunshine, you prepare yourself to meet it." And when you do rise above, you find that the sunshine isn't just warmth on your face. It's clarity, it's understanding, it's peace. Because storms make us appreciate the sun in a way that calm weather never could. You can never truly value serenity until you face chaos. You cannot cherish stability until you've known instability. The sunshine becomes sweeter, not because it suddenly appears, but because you had to climb to meet it. This is why the saying speaks to something far more profound than patience. It's not just about waiting for the storm to end. It's about transcending it. Rising above is an act of courage, of faith, of imagination. And it's an act available to every one of us, regardless of the size of the storm. Whether it's heartbreak, financial ruin, betrayal, or failure, the principle remains. You can rise. And above the storm, the sun still shines. So ask yourself, when the storm comes, will you bury your head and hope it passes, or will you spread your wings and rise? Will you see only the rain and the thunder, or will you believe in the sunshine waiting just above the clouds? Because here's the truth, the storm is temporary, but the sunshine is eternal. The beauty of life lies not in the absence of storms, but in our ability to rise above them. Each storm carries its own weight. Some are brief showers, others are hurricanes that shake the foundations of who we are. But what defines us is not the strength of the storm, it's the strength of our response. The saying, "Rise above the storm and you will find the sunshine," becomes not just a poetic reminder, but a blueprint for survival, growth, and transcendence. Think about the storms you have faced in your life. Perhaps it was betrayal by someone you trusted, a dream that collapsed after years of work, or a sudden loss that tore a hole in your heart. In those moments, it feels impossible to imagine sunshine. Everything seems drenched in sorrow, and you wonder if the rain will ever stop. Yet, when you look back, those very storms shaped you. They deepened your wisdom, sharpened your resilience, and reminded you of your own inner power. You didn't just survive them, you were refined by them. This is why rising above is more than endurance. Endurance alone is staying alive in the storm. Rising above is transforming the storm into your ally. That's about realizing that storms are not the end of the path. They are detours leading you to heights you might never have reached otherwise. Rising above means you don't allow the storm to define your story. Instead, you use it to redefine yourself. Let's take a modern lens to this. In the entrepreneurial niche, storms come in the form of failure, rejection, and financial instability. How many startups collapse because their founders could not see past the initial storm? And yet, the great innovators, the ones who changed industries, or those who saw failure not as a storm that drowned their vision, but as a necessary storm that prepared them for greater success. They rose above, not by denying their challenges, but by using them as lessons. For them, the sunshine was not luck, it was perspective. The same applies to personal life. Relationships, careers, even our health, all of these areas invite storms. But to rise above requires us to stop identifying with the storm itself. You are not the storm, you are the sky above it. The storm is passing weather, temporary and shifting, but your essence, like the vastness of the sky, remains unbroken. The sunshine is not lost, it is merely hidden. To rise above is to remember that truth. And here's where the philosophy deepens. Rising above is not about escaping pain, but about transcending it. Pain has its place. It humbles us. It teaches us. It awakens empathy. But if we remain in the storm, if we let pain be the only lens through which we see, then we remain drenched in darkness. Rising above allows us to honor the pain without becoming imprisoned by it. It allows us to look at the storm and say, "You are here to shape me, not to stop me." Now imagine the person you become when you make rising above a habit. Storms no longer intimidate you. Failures no longer define you. Disappointments no longer derail you. You carry within you the quiet confidence that no matter how dark the clouds become, you know where the sunshine is and you know how to get there. That is a power few people ever master, but it is available to anyone who chooses courage over fear, vision over despair. And so the saying isn't just advice, it's a challenge. Will you rise or will you sink? Will you remain beneath the storm or will you take the eagle's path and soar above it? Because once you rise above the storm, something remarkable happens. You don't just find the sunshine, you become the sunshine. Your life, your story, your resilience becomes a light for others still caught in the rain. You become proof that storms are survivable, that storms are temporary, and that sunshine is always waiting for those who dare to rise. So the next time the storm comes, and it will remember this, you are not meant to hide, you are meant to soar. And when you rise above, the sunshine will not just greet you, it will remind you that it was never gone. It was waiting all along just beyond the clouds. That is the promise of life. That is the power of rising above.